The people who don't like this one, because it's not a large scale, expansive movie, can blow me. This is the best possible story for a first James Bond movie. And it is, well, it's a good movie. And it is one of two Bond roles that matches the version of James Bond from the corresponding book, because the character changed wildly throughout the series in the books. And some movies capture some versions of Bond from other books really well. This is the one, Dr. No and Casino Royale, in the Craig one. I'm not gonna, I'm never gonna watch the '60s Casino Royale again. But those two are the only ones that match the actual book. Great movie, great first movie. Not perfect, but a good movie. From Russia with Love is I I hated this movie when I was a kid. I was so bored by it. I did not want to watch any of it. I didn't watch it again when I was an adult and started rewatching these movies. I tended to skip it. Rewatching it again, this may be the perfect James Bond movie. It's as close to a perfect movie as any James Bond movie is going to get. No, it's fucking James Bond. But it's as close to a perfect movie as any James Bond movie is going to get. It's the best James Bond movie. Go fuck yourselves, everybody. I really wanted to hate Goldfinger when I rewatched it, because it's the one that everybody likes, right? And I'm a natural contrarian, and that's okay. But good Lord, it's a good movie. It's the first one that kind of deviates from the source material a little bit more than normal. The villain plot is different than the book. In the book, the James Bond basically becomes Goldfinger's like secretary for a while. It's weird, but it's amazing. The movie is so good that you can watch it and not mind the fact that James Bond saves the day by raping the lesbianism out of a character named Pussy Galore. I mean, come on. You have to, that's a lot to overcome, and they do it. It's a great movie. Thunderball. Thunderball is the CC's Pizza of James Bond movies. They put in all the elements of, of what they think goes into an action James Bond movie, and everything is in there. There's a lot of it, and you can gorge yourself until you're full and you don't want to move anymore. But it's not really that. It's not unsatisfying. Like, if you need food, you can go to a CC's Pizza and eat a lot of food, right? And that's it. The lady who plays Domino is also awesome, so that's a reason to watch it. You Only Live Twice is I guess it's the first adaptation in name only. The book has the Tiger Tanaka character. He's a little bit different. A couple of the characters get ported over, and it does take place in Japan. The story is wildly different, and that's a good thing, because the book is stupid. I like the book, but it's stupid. I love the movie. It's probably the origin of I don't know. It's probably the origin of some feelings that I have about Japanese women and Asian women in general. So on that one, I give it a high ranking, even though I'll give it a high personal ranking, even though I'm going to give it a normal ranking on the scale. On Her Majesty's Secret Service, forever was underrated. Telly Savalas is great. I love Aristoteles Savalas. He was great. It's a decent movie. It's a good movie. I think it was underrated because of George Lazenby being a dickhead after the movie was produced. It's fine. It was underrated, then it was overrated. And I think it's still in that overrated territory, but it's a solid movie. It can be overrated and be good. And it's good. It's a little overrated, but it's good. It could have been polished in a lot of areas. Great cinematography, weird editing, and way too much overdubbing. Diamonds Are Forever is my guilty pleasure movie, and watching it again, it's still my guilty pleasure movie. It's the cinematic equivalent of Robert Plant saying, "Does anybody remember Laughter?" in the middle of Stairway to Heaven during the Madison Square Garden show. Does anybody remember Laughter? And that's it. It is not a serious movie. I will give you. There are 4 reasons to watch this movie. Lana Wood and Jill St. John. Live and Let Die is one of the masterpieces. You know what? There's 1 or 2 exceptions to a rule that I just created in my brain. There may just be 1 exception, but I think that no, there's 2 exceptions because From Russia with Love is better than Dr. No. But I think that the first time that any actor plays James Bond, for the most part, except for Timothy Dalton, is going to be the best. And some people, I didn't realize that ratings were not great for this movie, like from James Bond people. It's a solid story. It gets a little goofy with the voodoo stuff, but read don't read the book. It's racist as fuck. But, maybe read the book because it's racist as fuck and it's funny. But it's a decent story. The only bad part about the whole movie is the Yaphet Kotto's death. That's when it gets too goofy, but everything else it vibes. Even the Sheriff Pepper, and I hate goofy characters in movies, especially during chase scenes when they put in that comic relief during the chase scene. Sheriff Pepper was fine. He was good. I mean, he gets less good in the next movie, but I think from front to back, this is a rock solid James Bond movie, and I put this up there with like your Dr. No's and your Goldfingers. It's a solid movie. Better than people give it credit for. Speaking of better than people give it credit for, Man with the Golden Gun is a fucking great movie. I don't know why people shit on this movie. At the time, they shat on this movie. Like, it's the only problem with this movie is, the secondary Bond girl, but whatever. She's annoying, but they all are. The only problem with the movie is the villain's plot. Like, they should have kept it just Christopher Lee wants to do a duel with James Bond because he's obsessed with being better than James Bond. They do the solar night bomb. I know that's not what they call it, but they do the solar night bomb subplot, and it's stupid. And it makes no sense for him to have a villain plot in that movie. Just have him be the menace that's stalking James Bond, and it would have been great. But it's a good movie. You can tell it was rushed, but that's fine. I think there's 2 things that ruin the movie: the solar night bomb. I said it so many times I forget what the actual plot. I forget what the actual MacGuffin is, and the slide whistle. Y'all know the slide whistle. Spy Who Loved Me. That's another one that I didn't want to like when I rewatched it because it's one of those like everybody's like, oh, that's the best Roger Moore James Bond. Blah 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 blah. And it isn't. Live and Let Die is the best one. but it is good, and it's one of the fun ones. And I don't gravitate towards the fun, like intentionally fun James Bond movies, because except for Diamonds Are Forever, because sometimes they just go too over the top and too goofy. But this one was good. It pulled back and got serious in times where it needed to, and Roger Moore was able to carry. Roger Moore and the lady, who's the lady, Agent Triple X, like they were both able to ride the line between campy and serious when the scenes dictated it. They were really good, and they played off of each other well. So I think that was a solid one. Moonraker. It's half of a good movie. For Your Eyes Only was way too. Oh, you know what? Let me go back to Moonraker. Sorry, this is gonna be this broke the format. Moonraker, the book, is probably the best James Bond book, and they threw out everything except for the name of a villain, so that sucked. But For Your Eyes Only, another adaptation in name only. They basically all are at this point. In this point of the series, because For Your Eyes Only was a series of short stories. They tried way too hard to be serious, and there was a couple of good moments in it. The guy from Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade was good in it. Topol was good in it, but it's not that great. It wanted to be too grounded, and it didn't work because it fell into that area of being too grounded. Never Say Never Again is whatever the low rent knockoff of CC's Pizza is. Octopussy. Every time I think, because I was 7 or 8 years old when I started watching these movies for the first time, and I remember asking the grandparents to rent Octopussy so we could watch Octopussy. Again, it's another like half of a good movie. The serious parts are great, including the parts in the circus. When if you watch any like hack online James Bond reviewer, they're gonna go to Roger Moore dressed up like a clown. Those scenes are serious and they're great. Him yelling like Tarzan is stupid. It's awful. Him being in the the little alligator submarine thing is awful. But the serious parts are great. It's just it gets killed by all the not serious parts. So it's not a good movie. It's good if you're in the mood to forgive the not serious parts. View to a Kill. Ooh. Woof. Christopher Walken's good in it. Grace Jones is good in it. I've seen a couple of the movies she's been in. The one where she's a vampire. She's not good in a lot of movies. She's good in this movie. And it's not watchable. The Living Daylights. If Octopussy and Moonraker are half a good movie, I would say The Living Daylights is a third of a good movie in any of the parts of the movie where the plot isn't involved. The plot ruins it. It's too convoluted, and nothing that really MI6 would be even concerned about. License to Kill breaks the formula in my brain of the James Bond first time that an actor plays James Bond is the best. This is one of the best James Bond movies, period. This is, I wish that Timothy Dalton would have still been under contract when they did GoldenEye. As much as Pierce Brosnan was great in GoldenEye, I would have loved to have seen Timothy Dalton do two great James Bond movies. This is one I can watch anytime. It's a little 80s. It has that kind of like late 80s feel to it where like it's like the film stock. It looks a little dry, but other than that, it's great. GoldenEye, great movie. It had to be, and it was. Everybody loves it. I don't think there's anything to say about it. It's just a great movie. That's a little bit more of a popcorn movie than The Living Daylights. I'm sorry, License to Kill, but it's a great one. I mean, it is what it is. I thought Tomorrow Never Dies was great when it came out. I watched it again and it sucks. I'm sorry, it sucks. It's that period in the 90s. All the movies had the same things going on that were great in the 90s, and they did not age well. It did not age well. I'm not going to say it sucks. I'm going to say the next two suck. But it just didn't age well. You have to watch it as a 90s movie. Sucks. Sucks. All right, so Casino Royale is returned to actually adapting the books that existed. Quentin Tarantino should have done it. It should have been a period piece like he wanted. It is a very fine modernization of the Casino Royale novel. The subplot should not have existed. It should have just been an adaptation of the novel. You have James Bond who has to beat the Russian bagman for a spy agency in cards so that they can expose his extortion and delegitimize their organization. And then second half of the movie would have been him in Vesper Lind and finding out what happened with her, which those plot elements are in there, but it should have been all it was. It should have been a character study, because Casino Royale, the book, is why James Bond gets the mindset that he has for a good number of books after that. He starts out as somebody who is cold calculating. He's not going to open himself up. He opens himself up and learns that he can't open himself up. And he doesn't until the Majesty's Secret Service book. Really after he gets poisoned, poisoned at the end of From Russia with Love, and then comes back and gets a little bit of a hit to his confidence. But this movie, I mean, it hits those elements, but it also tries to do the big stuff, and the big stuff doesn't play like I think it did at the time. Again, this is another one that hasn't aged that great in the last 20 years. Because it's a mid-2000s movie. The big things are the big things, and they don't really feel that weighty. Quantum of Solace was fine. Skyfall is if I think of it in the context of just a James Bond movie, not that great. If I think of it in the context of a 2010s spy movie or espionage movie, it's the same word, but it has a different feel, right? Then it's amazing. But it's a James Bond movie, so I don't know how to feel about it. It's a good watch. It's fine. Spectre sucks. No Time to Die is funny bad. You know what? It isn't. It has some good elements. It has some great elements in the beginning. Some suspenseful stuff, and then the ending is forced and not that great. It's just forced, and they start to leak in the political stuff too much. It's I know it was the time period that it was from, but it's a little too forced. So not watchable. So I'm doing the graphics here. Got the graphics. So you see the let me see if I can see. So the best James Bond movie. You should watch these in order from best to worst. Best from Russia with Love, then Casino Royale, then License to Kill, Spy Who Loved Me, then Dr. No, Goldfinger, Live and Let Die, Goldeneye. That's my A tier. Those are some good ones. B tier is a very, 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 very generous vote for You Only Live Twice. Yeah, I would say that. Yeah, that's a good one. I would say watch The Man with the Golden Gun. Skyfall's fine, and everything else you can kind of throw away. Everything else is kind of throw away. If you're in the mood, I did put On Her Majesty's Secret Service on a pretty high level because it is a solid movie. But you got to be in the mood for it. Most of the ones that I watched were really in between that B and C tier, and they were all pretty watchable. It wasn't really anything that was it wasn't anything that was like, I have to turn this movie off, you know? When I got to the D tier and F tier, those movies I wanted to turn off. Specifically, Never Say Never Again, No Time to Die, and then the two last Pierce Brosnan ones. Those were painful. Those were a slog, and you know, if you're watching movies for the second, third, fourth, fifth time, as I do for like some of these movies I'm watching, you know, I've already seen a dozen times or more. If you're watching it on repeat viewings, you know, a lot of times the movies get, even the hard to watch ones get a little bit easier to watch. Those F tier ones were not easier to watch. The only watchable one for the bottom two tiers was View to a Kill. And that was really only because of Christopher Walken and Grace Jones. Everything else was really painful to watch. So watch all of them, or watch none of them. I don't care.
That's my little octopus, ain't it?